What do you think is the biggest fear behind someone that is cheating?
Fear of intimacy is very big. On one hand, we are literally dying to be seen fully. On the other hand, it's terrifying because we have a profound fear of being exactly the way we are. Because last time that happened, I got profoundly wounded. And I don't want to feel that pain again. And my fear is there, supposedly, protect me from getting hurt again. Of course, it doesn't work. We have this profound, like unconscious belief that if I'm scared enough, I'll never get hurt again.
Yeah,
it's completely the opposite.
I love that. Yeah, if I'm scared enough, nothing
scared,
will happen again. I will be protected from the world.
Yeah.
What a lie.
And life begins on the outside of this fear. Everything that's messy, confusing internally that we don't want to look at, painful, maybe shameful or whatever, it's going to bring up the mud to the surface. But we need to walk through the mud of our becoming. What an amazing thing. In a relational context, if both people are willing to do this, they are healing together in love. And then our intimacy with everything deepens. In other words, my love for my partner saves me from my own sense of self-control and everything. The fear-based small self that's trying to manipulate everything and control. And for her, that's the same. In a way, we can say that we become portals of consciousness for each other. How about jumping into a relational container that is bigger than me, that is bigger than my partner, and that includes both of our lives. The we space is infinite, and we are in it together. And so how can we take care of this we space together? And suddenly we get in touch with what being human is all about. By being so profoundly intimate with one human, I become intimate with humanity. This is something really big.
I think that's what we're here for.
I think we're here for love, living as love. And this is possible, for sure.
This is Create What Matters. Welcome everyone to one more episode of Create What Matters. I'm very excited to have this conversation today. My name is Ale and I have the privilege and the fortune of being here in Bali. I've been living here for about 6 weeks. I just came back from a beautiful water purification ceremony. So today's conversation is one that I've been quietly excited about. And today I'll be speaking with Cenk Matalon. Cenk's class was my first ever class here in Bali. I took a Sacred Monogamy class that he leads at the School of Unified Healing in Ubud. He's a guide whose work lives at the intersection of deep spirituality, psychology, and the very human messiness of relationship, which is what drew me to his class. With decades of meditation practice, over 20 10-day Vipassana retreats.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of retreats.
Yeah.
2 psychology degrees and thousands of hours working with clients. Cenk has walked the awakening path very far. So we're going to be talking a lot about that today. And yet at some point, in his journey, in your journey, he chose something radical. To stop trying to transcend his humanity and fully inhabit it. That is refreshing and that's something new in this field of spirituality and inner compass. This is what we're actually exploring in the podcast. We have different sections and different segments. And I've been on this segment on inner compass for about 6 months, exploring all of these topics to have conversations and provide tools to help me and help other people to live a life from the inside out as opposed to from the outside in. So in this episode, we're going to explore what happens when spirituality finally lands in the body and it's not all of the woo-woo, when intimacy becomes practice, and when love, a big word, especially sacred monogamy, turns into both sanctuary and crucible. So this is a conversation today about nervous system, dearmoring the heart, a topic that I'm so curious about fierce love, and what it really means to be whole enough to choose one another again and again and again. Are you ready to dive in with me?
I'm ready. Great topics.
Let's do it.
Yes.
Okay. So, Cenk, I'm really honored. I want to say welcome and thank you for making the time to sit with me today. Your work sits at this fascinating intersection, and I want to start with a question of what does it mean to awaken into your humanity? What brought you there? What brought you to this question? And to the what answers came?
continuously not getting what I want in life brought me to this place of having to face my pain, especially in romantic relationships, like one after another not working or being really full of challenges. In the end, I had to look at myself and see what's really preventing the whole thing from happening beautifully.
Yeah.
And I went into spiritual practice at a very young age, at 19 years old. And 10 years into being a very dedicated Buddhist meditator in a strong Buddhist tradition, I had just left a 7-month retreat stay at a retreat center in Canada in a Vipassana meditation tradition.
So you lived there for 7 months?
I lived there, yeah. I took refuge in the Buddha. Like,
so you left everything. You left your life.
Yeah, I left my job. I quit my job, and I left my relationship that wasn't working, left my apartment, put things into storage, and I went into this thing with no plan Bs, with nothing no job lined up for when I leave, anything like that. And so I felt like I had to really commit, and I'm so glad that I did it. And it gave me a lot of things, but when I came back to life, engaged real life where you have a car or relationships and paying rent and working, I found that especially in my romantic relationships that this profound spiritual openings that I continuously experienced, they did not penetrate the deeper layers of my emotional wounding.
Right, so this didn't fix everything. You didn't become illuminated for everything to just be perfect, let's say.
Exactly. Yeah. and not knowingly, I was chasing perfection.
Yeah.
Perfection for a lot of men means that I know everything.
Yeah.
And I can, I'm not afraid. I'm not this like just a Superman type of thing, right? And didn't happen, thank God. And but the way I found out about everything that spirituality couldn't touch was through romantic relationships, because I was still reactive in moments of conflict with partners, romantic partners. And I found that I was functioning from shame, from insecurity, unworthiness. And I was shutting down. I couldn't be emotionally open.
Yeah.
I couldn't express really my deeper needs. And I really had to look at myself.
Yeah.
At one point, I couldn't even meditate, because even meditation became something that I had to perfect and be good at. Not only that I have to be everything to everybody as a man trying to be whatever, but now I have to be enlightened. That's a lot of pressure.
Another demand,
thing.
another expectation.
Another thing that you're failing at as a man. Well, what a trip. It's a real mind trip.
Yeah.
And it really messes up with our emotions as well. So I had to really look at things that the spiritual teaching did not mention at all. Even though I was feeling spiritually profoundly open.
So your shadows and your shit were still waiting for you at home.
Exactly. I still had the garbage, right? The garbage we have since young age and everything combined in later life. And this baggage, I still have my baggage. And somehow spiritual practice, even spiritual moments of awakening, is not touching it.
Yeah.
And I got extremely confused and had to find out the answers for myself.
Yeah.
Really clarify everything. And so I got into my own healing.
Yeah.
Found mentors and teachers, therapists, somatic work. Got into profound healing, including trauma healing, inner child work, self-compassion, seeing through unworthiness, going beyond fear.
All in the space of psychology.
Yes.
Because you had to explore fully and deeply the spiritual work.
Yes,
and then
I had.
Everything is waiting for you there. And then you took this alternative path, or you went into
healing. Not transcendence and enlightenment, but into coming back here, intimately looking at what I'm feeling in this moment.
Yeah.
Instead of trying to get rid of it. And healthy spiritual practice, like good grounded spirituality, is not a bypass.
Yeah.
But that's very rare. And even in our own maturation as practitioners, we get there not right away.
And that's the next question I wanted to ask you about. And we discussed this a little bit today, which is a big topic, and we are going to do another podcast about this. But you talk about the spiritual bypassing.
It's the shadow of spirituality.
For anyone who is new in this concept or this topic, what is a spiritual bypassing, and how does this destroy our capacity for intimacy?
Spiritual bypassing is the use of spiritual belief, spiritual teachings, spiritual practices in a way that disconnects us from our humanity. In other words, I'm stuck in trying to transcend everything because being in pain, maybe I'm ashamed of it, I'm afraid of it, or I'm so confused. I just want to get the hell out of this incarnation somehow into some bliss land that doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And then the result is spiritual bypassing. And when we see through spiritual bypassing, through self-compassion, because we all have a bypasser in us.
We all have a bypasser in us.
All
Interesting.
of us, yes. Either spiritually or through porn or through drugs or whatever, or social media or this, that addiction. We just don't want to feel our pain.
Yeah.
It's so human. It's such an innocent thing, but it's a confused state. And we can have compassion for these tendencies in us. And it's coming from a young place in us that is terrified.
Yeah,
This
from
place,
fear.
confused. So I had to see through all of this. But spiritual bypassing, the way that it can manifest, let's say in a relationship, is maybe my spiritual practice is watching my breath, watching my sensations, and not identifying with them. I might very easily get completely disconnected from my emotions. Because what? My spiritual path talks about sensations and only sensations. So when my girlfriend asks me, hey Cenk, is everything okay? What are you feeling? I can't just start describing my sensations. She's looking for relational data. She's looking for emotional, relational information.
Yeah.
Because she can see that I'm already shutting down. Maybe I'm sad. Maybe she can feel that I'm ashamed in that moment. Maybe I'm feeling insecure. If I don't have emotional intimacy, emotional literacy, I won't be able to name these things.
Yeah.
It's not helpful to say, I'm feeling tingling sensations around my legs. There's nothing relational.
That doesn't
about
help.
that. On the cushion, it might help
Yeah.
to have a bit of a distance from what we're feeling.
Yeah.
But then in healthy spirituality, we don't use the distance of awareness to disconnect from ourselves. Actually, we use it as spaciousness in which I can connect with myself more deeply. But that's grounded spirituality, healthy spirituality. And spiritual bypassing can come in thousands of ways. We can spiritualize everything. Everything. It's an intellectual escape.
Yeah, it's
using
a
spiritual practice and
it's a mind trick from our ego.
It's a mind trick. It's a mind trick. It's a spiritualized mind trick that is extremely prevalent in today's world.
Yeah.
Because we have yoga, we have Tantra, we have all these teachings from the East that we have adopted in the West.
We're here in
but
Bali where
we are
this is
really confused about them.
an amusement park of all of these offerings.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big amusement park. But here's the thing, like, who only looks for amusement? Kids.
Yeah.
We're here to become adults. Life is more beautiful when we grow up. You know? And amusement, pleasure, it has a place. But if we want deep life, beautiful lives, full of internal integrity, that I'm showing up the way that I am, not as the 5-year-old in me, not as the teenager, but as an adult man who can take care of things, who can commit to a woman,
Who can show up.
right? Who can show up, who can take charge. Then we cannot only be amusing here, right? Yeah.
That is really powerful because I feel that we often are still, most of us, operating and living on adult bodies, and yet we're children.
Yeah.
We're fearful children.
And again, we can bring self-compassion to this because, every day I'm aware of these moments in myself.
Yeah.
But I can take a breath, be with the child in me, put a hand on my heart, and recognize what's happening in the moment. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then this takes me to the topic of intimacy. So this shows up in our relationships. Our relationships are often the biggest mirror of how we are internally, right?
Yeah.
They are. There's
messy.
not a more magnifying space where we can really see what's happening inside us than a relationship.
I think relating is the most potent, the most humbling, the most difficult spiritual path on earth today. Especially since women's empowerment, where there's much more of an equality, right? Like women are not dependent on men for money, this and that.
Yeah. The roles are changing.
The roles are changing, but now finally we can be both empowered and learn to share power and get into what that means about love. That means a love without manipulation, without victimhood, without one party dominating the other. Equal power. We're learning to share this. I think a lot of people are looking for a relationship like this. But if we want to go into mature love like this, in this kind of setup, we need to see a relationship relating as a path of healing and awakening. So that we are not afraid of going into it with our whole being. because it is not easy. But once we see it as in a different context, well, it's not supposed to be easy because it's going to bring up everything that I rather not feel.
Yeah.
It's going to bring up everything that I thought was meditation was going to,
Right. So these relationships are not supposed to fix me or rescue me or bring me the happiness that I'm looking for. Rather,
it will bring the happiness, but first it's going to bring the struggle.
You need to work for
the surface.
You need to build and you need to show up and commit and
exactly
and face your fears.
I call it the mud of our becoming. The mud is everything that's messy, confusing internally that we don't want to look at, painful, maybe shameful or whatever. It's going to bring up the mud to the surface. But we need to walk through the mud of our becoming. What an amazing thing. In a relational context, if both people are willing to do this, they are healing together in love. This is a completely new paradigm. This is not only being in love or falling in lust or anything.
Yeah.
This is something that includes a whole different orientation about what relationship can be like.
Yeah.
It can become a container of profound healing where we walk alongside our partner together into discovering everything that love can be outside of the conditioning of society, outside of a fear-based love, which is what we know.
I have to tell you, I wish when I sit down in your class and hear you speak about this, I wish probably it's becoming more prevalent, this conversation. Maybe in social media, there's a whole lot about, attachment, and for us women, about being very independent, about playing all these games and these strategies.
Yeah, that I don't need anybody.
Exactly. That
men do that too.
Yeah, so both of us are playing the same role. And I think when I think about relationships, and even from my own experience, we are all craving connection and love, and healthy love.
Yeah.
Yet we are at this day and age doing everything again to not get that.
We're scared, and in our fear, we're also really confused. And in our confusion, we don't know how to be with ourselves to begin with, and from that place, we don't know how to relate. And so maybe in dating, this might look like me sending mixed signals continuously, and then my date is super confused, and then I'm like, why is she not responding? Well, I can look at what I'm doing. Why is she not responding? Because maybe I'm actually really confusing her.
What's your role there?
Yeah, what's my role in this dynamic, right? So what's happening in dating these days, romantic relationships, a lot of confusion. In codependency, we don't leave no matter what happens. We are afraid of loneliness. We are afraid of our partner abandoning us, rejection. So we hold on to it.
Yeah.
And then we go to the opposite, complete opposite, after we're done with that. We go to the complete opposite is that I don't need anybody. In other words, I don't do the work to make a relationship actually work. And instead, like, I go next, like this. But this is really dehumanizing. It's actually dishonoring of myself as well.
We're consuming
of my own heart. Because I just invested maybe 2 weeks into this person, this connection, and suddenly in the first sign of difficulty, I'm going to go for the next one?
Yeah.
It's not healthy.
I think it's some sort of like a sort of drug, because what we are doing is just there for the dopamine that these people give us, and when the relationship eventually, that dopamine fades and everything becomes real, then I don't want to do the work anymore, so next.
Yeah, and we call this empowerment, we call this freedom.
Exactly.
There is no freedom in it.
Or liberation.
Actually, we are in chains already.
Yeah. And then segueing from these and talking about awakening, you talk about that awakening doesn't always impact the mind and body the way we think about it.
Yeah.
So what's actually happening?
Yeah, like we a lot of us go into spiritual teachings and practices with so much hope that it's going to give us everything we've ever longed for.
Like the partnership.
It will give me the perfect relationship. It will give me like complete liberation for all my pain and suffering, and this incredible vision for my life I'm looking for. But ask someone directly, what do you think enlightenment is? Like, really is? They don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what I was chasing. I had some assumptions and confusion around it. In fact, it's the reality that the child in us is chasing. The child in us is lost in fantasy. But true spirituality is actually leaving behind a life of fantasy and opening to life as it is, already as it is, right here, right now. It's a coming back here instead of trying to get there.
Yeah.
So Transcendence is what we are hoping for because we hate our humanity so much. We don't want to be in pain.
Yeah.
But even with profound spiritual experience, and I've had many of those, even really early when I started practicing, I think that we are so fragmented inside. Part of this is our Western upbringing, very mental,
Yeah.
very cerebral. So the head and the body are disconnected.
Yes.
And also education system keeps us even more fragmented. And so we are so compartmentalized. I found that, yes, I was really opening up at the spiritual dimension of my being, yet my relational, emotional side was not getting impacted by that opening.
Yeah.
In other words, my spiritual insights and realizations or opened up consciousness was not able to penetrate into my core self, core feeling self. So it was not getting embodied. Yeah, I had a spacious mind, but my heart was still really protected.
Yeah. As you were saying, I was still reacting in relationships, my emotions. I was not regulating my emotions. And this is something that comes into the territory of a relationship to self. And what you are talking...
I didn't know anything about the child in me, for example. I knew a lot about how to meditate 10 days after 10 days after 10 days. But the child in me, I was a stranger to this wounded place in me.
Yeah. And this is all about related to inner wholeness, like to being whole. What does it mean to be whole as a human, as a man or a woman?
Can I get in touch with everything that I am? Really? Like the high and the low, the dying and the undying, the good, the bad, the ugly. Can I look at it all? Can I see it all as part of my humanity? Because once I see it inside, and that there's ultimately nothing wrong with us as human beings, and we can see this as we get very intimate with everything internally, then I can recognize in my partner or somebody that there's nothing wrong in them. This is the beginning of love, mature love. Because love in its maturity is not trying to change anything. It sees people as they are. It's not trying to save them. It doesn't see any error in the system.
It embraces the imperfections.
It embraces the whole thing. Yeah.
It's safe to be imperfect. It's safe to be you.
Yes. And through the safety of this kind of love, everything inside and outside, they find their natural place. So this love has a profound impact in us. It transforms everything without trying to change anything.
How do we find whole people?
Well, by becoming whole ourselves.
I thought you were gonna say that. You have to start with yourself.
Even through spiritual practice, we can get in touch with wholeness as a state.
Yeah.
But to live that moment to moment, there's also a process of healing. This mud of our becoming. There's a process of healing in which we bring even the spiritual state of wholeness that we have in the cushion. Maybe we feel that. We bring that, use that awareness of spacious awareness. We take that into our healing, into the deepest pain that we carry.
I have a question for you there. Because
Yeah.
sometimes I feel with this all healing process, and I feel that is also very interesting what you're saying about integrating spirituality and psychology, and we're going to talk more about that. But in a way, sometimes it feels that, or maybe this is another mind trick, that I cannot find this whole relationship until I'm fully healed. And honestly, sometimes I'm tired of healing.
Yes, of
so
course.
Much.
Yes.
So what do you think about this?
I don't think there's an end to healing. Like Rumi says, the wound is the place where the light enters you. So there's no error in the system. Again, like the wound is there for a reason, and the more that I get in touch with my wound, the more compassionate I can be for other people, because the more deeply that I know my pain, the more loving I can become with others. But healing has no end.
Yeah.
Healing turns into growth, turns into maturation, turns into ripening. We will be ripening all our lives.
Yeah.
There's no end to this.
Yeah.
Just like there's no end to life, there's no end to love. How deep love can become. It's an adventure in consciousness. It goes on and on and on. I don't think there's an end. And I don't think there's supposed to be an end to it. So we cannot be waiting for anything. If I fall in love, if I meet someone who I think can be a good match for me, I'm going to go ahead and, get into a relationship, because why not? So I'd rather be healing when I'm single, healing when I'm partnered, healing all the time.
Healing as an inherent process,
As a way of
a
being.
way of life.
Yeah, this internal intimacy. We don't have to label it anything.
And I guess this connects back to that space of us entering relationships where we can be ourselves, where we can be
Yes.
whole, carrying our wounds,
Yeah.
carrying our processes of healing without those being an obstacle or a risk.
There's such an innocence.
Separation.
Yeah, even with our close friends, or let's say with my partner, I might say, I feel so sad since I woke up in the morning. Okay, what a beautiful transparency. Like, the more emotionally connected we are with our partners, the deeper our relationship will become. Vulnerability is what deepens relationships. The doorway to deeper trust, safety. And then deeper trust, safety established, I can be more vulnerable. So they reinforce each other. Yeah. And I can trust my partner more and more. And one day, I'm going to have to trust 100%. The more that I see that she is trustworthy. At that point, fear will come. And we have to face it. Because it's a full trust. Can I fully commit? This is an incredible thing. And I don't think a lot of us knows how profoundly vulnerable full commitment is. And it is vulnerable. It's supposed to be vulnerable. If it doesn't feel vulnerable, you're not feeling it. If it's not feeling vulnerable, you're not in touch with yourself.
You're not showing up fully.
You're not showing up. Yeah, we are armored in our love.
Which I think is so common these days.
It's so common, yeah.
Do you feel this is something that is happening more to men or women, or not really?
Well, I think it used to be a men thing, but nowadays there are a lot of guarded women as well. I see it as a developmental stage where, from codependency to being overguarded to being not guarded. There's a real developmental stage.
To like a kind of like a pendulum.
The pendulum swings. And then we go beyond the pendulum into non-fear-based love.
Okay, so there's like a transcendence of the pendulum.
Exactly. It's not about a balancing.
Yeah.
It's going beyond the pendulum. And I think that's really important. Because we're going beyond the whole paradigm of fear-based love. Because both codependency and modern love, which I don't need anybody, hello, but the attitude, and I've been there too, both are fear-based.
Pain can take you there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it hurts. It hurts to be in love. Love is not safe. There can be safety in the relationship, but ultimately, there's no safety at all.
It's a gamble.
If we want to live fully, if we want to love fully, we're going to get hurt no matter what happens. No matter what happens.
It comes in a bundle in a way. To love is to lose,
Exactly.
The risk of grief is there.
Yeah.
It cannot be separated. Yeah.
I watched a meme the other day on Instagram. I keep sharing this because it's extremely funny. And it says, to love is to suffer, to not love is to suffer. It's both true. So we might as well be loving and suffering for that. It's a worthy, that's worthy pain, worthy suffering. And this kind of love calls forth from within us the hero. The hero, the heroine, because it will ask for everything. But living fully will ask for everything as well. This is the hero's journey.
Yeah.
And this is the hero of intimacy. This is the heroine of open-hearted living. Not like the Hollywood, like rigid hero trying to kill everybody. Not that. This is the mature hero. And that's why there's so much aliveness in this kind of relationship. Yeah, because we are really going for it. Like, no bullshit. No plan Bs. I love you. You love me. Let's make this happen. No matter what. Let's go into it. Let's discover for ourselves what mature love is. Because there are no definitions about it. I don't think there should be.
Yeah.
Because it's unscripted. It's wide open.
Yeah, we co-create that together.
We co-create with our partner. It's whatever we make it to be. But we know that it is not, we're not looking for codependency. We're not also looking for guardedness in the name of love. We're looking for something else.
Yeah, we're aware of those tendencies and those patterns.
When they come up, and they will always be coming up.
Yeah, we just are showing up to manage the things that emerge.
Yes, and even when in a profoundly beautiful relationship, let's say mature love, a codependent energy comes or pattern comes, a desperation inside, then we look at that together. My partner, myself, we look at what's coming up in me with compassion. Like there's no making it wrong. Let's look at this. Okay, I'm suffering in this way.
What a relief, no? To engage and to connect and to create a relationship in that way where there's...
What do we need?
there's no right and wrong, you know.
Yeah,
Everything
yeah.
that comes is what it is, and we
Yes,
are
exactly.
both dealing
We are
with it.
wide open. And then things can get digested when there's so much internal spaciousness like that. Like a heart-centered spaciousness. It's compassionate awareness.
This is so beautiful. And I want to go to the topic of sacred monogamy because this is a core topic that you teach
Yeah.
as a spiritual practice. It's interesting because in the spiritual world here in Bali or all over the world, often spirituality and sacred monogamy are not or monogamy itself are not two words that go together. There's this kind of like idea that if you're spiritual, you're liberated, you have to be open to anything that comes, anything that goes. Polyamory it's a very prevalent right now.
I ask polyamorous people sometimes if they ask me questions directly. Otherwise, I don't get into fights. But if they ask me questions directly, I say, "What happened to having a lot of amazing friendships? What
Yeah.
happened to that? Do we have to have sex with them?
Yeah.
What happened to this old idea of having incredible friendships?
Yeah.
Why do we have to have sex with them?
Yeah.
Why do I have to have sex with every person that I find attractive, or more than one at a time? Or I don't see any. Yeah. I also see it as a developmental stage as well. And I think there are a lot of people who leave polyamory after a while too. And then they open to something, whether or not they know what it is, but they actually start opening to sacred monogamy.
Is not monogamy, is sacred monogamy. And that is my next question. What makes monogamy sacred? Because that is the most provocative part of your work. You call sacred monogamy intensely alive and say polyamory becomes absurd when you're truly full.
Yeah. In codependency, I lost myself.
Yeah.
I sacrificed. And then I abandoned myself in the name of love. I lost my boundaries, my healthy sense of self. In modern love, I'm overly guarded. Maybe I'm too much autonomous, like too much hyper independence, like this kind of thing. Maybe my girlfriend asks me, do you want to talk about that? Maybe I say, no, I'll just deal with it on my own. Like we leave quite a bit.
Yeah.
So in sacred monogamy, the idea is, how can I be myself fully? No self-abandonment. And get as close to my partner as possible. And explore what that looks like. Like it's an exploration, it's an adventure in consciousness, in what human love can be, everything that love can be, without knowing it, going into it with curiosity, openness, innocently, and going like, yes, I would love for you to hold me right now, instead of going into my room to journal about how I feel. This is what we do in modern love. So can I stay relational? Because why not? This is my life partner. Let's stay relational. This is our lives together. So this creates profound transparency. This is where the sacredness is. Sacredness is in the full honoring of me as I am already, the way that we are, the way that we were born.
Yeah.
That
showing up as my whole imperfect self.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then also, how much love can I share with my partner? The prioritizing of sovereignty, healthy autonomy, and closeness at the same time. And then not seeing them as opposites, but as two things that amplify each other and make each other beautiful. Sovereignty and profound intimacy, relationality. We need a lot of relationality in today's world. This is a world that is becoming a lot more toxically autonomous. We are becoming hyper-individuals.
Loneliness is an
Capitalism is based on complete hyper-individuality as well. And so we're buying into the way the system works. And we have commodified everything.
Yeah.
We have commodified relationships, love, dating, everything. How about decommodifying ourselves fully? In other words, in sacred monogamy is, how can I honor myself fully, honor my partner fully, and there's also the third entity, the love container that we co-create, our relationship, the we space, this sacred monogamy space, the three. How can we honor all three? In codependency, only the relationship is honored. Everything is for the relationship. Oh my God,
everything else is abandoned.
Exactly. And then I don't matter, my partner feels she doesn't matter, everything for the relationship. We'll never leave. And we try to protect the relationship and, against all enemy forces that are trying to take it away from us. Modern love, I matter so much. My partner feels she matters tremendously, but there's not enough of an overlap. There's not enough intimacy or depth
or two different separate entities.
Yeah.
That sometimes coincide.
Different separate entities that every now and then kind of bump into each other and maybe have good sex or whatever. But but how about jumping into a relational container that is bigger than me, that is bigger than my partner, and that includes both of our lives. The we space is infinite, and we are in it together. And so how can we take care of this we space together? Like, let's say the king, the queen, we are leading an empire together. You know, and if the king attacks the queen has to defend herself. Healthy boundaries. No, please don't do that. I don't like it. The other way around. So that within the empire, everything is strong. That there's no division and fighting against each other.
There are no wars or power struggles.
And
dominance.
When they are, then we can see it for what it is and work through it. So that the empire stays strong internally. There's an integrity in the empire.
And we stay as a king and a queen as well.
Huge part of it. Like I'm learning to be the king of my life. That means profound empowerment, healthy, mature power. And she's learning the same. Becoming a queen. What does that mean? It has a lot of meaning. Like becoming empowered, graceful, everything, right? For men, for women. We are learning to bring together all the different capacities of ourselves as human beings. And then we can create our empire, which is our lives together. And this empire needs its healthy boundaries too. In sacred monogamy, one boundary is that it's a monogamous relationship. That means I'm not going to flirt with the cashier because that's leaking sexual energy. And no, I'm not going to do that. Or I'm not going to have plan Bs go behind my partner and, you know, leak maybe emotional, like deprioritize her. Go behind her back and stay closer, emotional cheating with somebody else. This is seen as childish and immature from sacred monogamous perspective and completely not needed. Why? Why would I want to do that? So no plan Bs, no leaking. No leaking of...
It's fully showing up. Because that's the hardest part.
That's the hardest part.
The hardest work.
That's really hard.
And the fact that we are going behind our partner's back or cheating, which is so common now.
We are escaping ourselves, actually.
What do you think is the biggest fear behind someone that is cheating or that cheats and lies?
Well, I can just generally give answers because I think it's very specific to the situations, but fear of intimacy is very big. You know, on one hand, we are literally dying to be seen fully. On the other hand, it's terrifying. Because when I was myself completely, when I was a little boy, I got slammed by life. Every person has the same experience. We got so slammed in school system, by life, by teachers, by the first breakup, whatever. And then we have a profound fear of being exactly the way we are. Because last time that happened, I got profoundly wounded. And I don't want to feel that pain again. And my fear is there, supposedly, protect me from getting hurt again. Of course, it doesn't work. But we really believe that. The fear is our friend and we should always listen to it.
We trick ourselves into it.
Yeah. We have this profound like unconscious belief that if I'm scared enough, I'll never get hurt again. Nothing bad will happen.
Yeah,
it's completely the opposite.
I love that. Yeah, if I'm scared enough, nothing will happen again. I will be protected from the world.
Yeah.
What a lie.
Oh my God.
What a massive lie. But we live it so fully.
Yeah.
We live it so fully.
And life begins on the outside of this fear. Life begins when we are not afraid. We can function from wholeness, which is not fear-bound. Wholeness can be aware of fear, be holding the fear, but wholeness itself is not afraid. In other words, the adult that I am is not afraid. Fear comes from the younger parts of us.
Yeah, from the wounded child, from the wounded teenager that we haven't healed yet. We haven't seen.
It goes all the way back. Yeah.
And with this sacred monogamy, polyamory conversation, I also wanted to talk about in the spirituality, the tantric world, or the way that Tantra is interpreted, especially around orgies or having multiple sexual partners or encounters that promote orgasms.
Yeah,
containers for pleasure, let's say. What do you think
Yes,
about this?
what I heard about this, I looked into this a little bit, like the Tantric Buddhist sutras in Tibetan Buddhism. There's apparently 112 of them. Only one mentions sex. And sex is mentioned is because everything is mentioned. In everything in life, sex is included. That's the reason why it's mentioned. So, and then it comes to the West, just like anything else, like yoga becomes acrobatics and stretching, right? But yoga is actually so much more profound than all of this.
It's a philosophy of life.
It's a way of being, all the things, all the way to enlightenment. And in the West, we are so desperately and always running away from our fear.
Yeah.
I mean, how else can we have a profoundly consumerist culture, right? It's all together working. Yeah. And so our spirituality also becomes profoundly confused. And then Tantra becomes twisted into endless orgasms or orgies or whatever.
Or consuming bodies and
it's another way of objectifying. I'm not saying all tantric teachings are like this. There are some tantric workshops that don't mention and don't have anything sexual to do. And when I talk to people about the work that I do, they say to me, the people who know about real tantra, the deep, profound tantra, they say, this is tantric work. I say, yeah, because tantra is inner union, inner transformation. The work I do is only about that.
Yeah.
So this work is tantric work, including in it is sexual healing, healing of sexuality and learning how to be an adult also in our sexuality. And it's not easy because we have a lot of sexual conditioning too, man, woman in different ways. Women might exchange consciously or unconsciously sex for safety.
Yeah.
Men often want to feel better through sex.
They want to release.
But this is an escape.
Yeah.
So instead of facing ourselves fully, going into creating safety inside or creating feeling better inside through tools of healing and self-regulation and trauma healing tools, we outsource all of that.
Yeah.
And this is the bypassing. And Tantra becomes one more way that I'm running away from myself, even though Tantric path can lead all the way to enlightenment in the way that it should.
And you were saying also that this is a path where we are running away from pain.
Holding on to pleasure.
Holding on to pleasure, chasing pleasure, because pleasure can be a drug as well.
Completely.
Thinking that we are being,
open.
that we're healing.
In the name of oneness.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm so open.
Yeah. So spiritual.
Openness doesn't mean lack of boundaries. There's a confusion there.
Can you talk more about that lack of boundaries and wanting to...
Yeah. Lack of boundaries is a lack of self-love. And lack of knowing that I am worthy of saying no. Sometimes I don't want it, right? And let's say in a tantric workshop where sex is happening or sexual acts are happening, is there enough emotional safety? Is there enough emotional trust? So if there isn't, why am I opening sexually?
Yeah.
Why am I opening physically, energetically, and sexually if the spiritual and relational and the emotional is not there? This is absurd.
So I'm fragmenting here as well. I'm opening completely. Only this part of myself.
Self-abandonment.
To get pleasure, to avoid whatever pain I'm feeling.
Yeah.
To evade whatever is happening inside me. And then I'm abandoning, as you say, the other parts of myself.
Yeah. It's not so different than having a terrible day at work or whatever.
Yeah.
Coming home, and the only thing I know what to do is to shove a huge cake into my mouth. As a way of feeling better. Instead, maybe I can book a therapy session the next morning or actually meditate or journal and actually be with myself.
Yeah.
Because the child in me needs me in those moments. The child in me doesn't need the beer or the addictive thing or the sugar high or anything like that.
Yeah, the
child even a spiritual high.
Yeah.
The child in us is looking for us, for our own adult presence to be at home, finally, saying, hey, I see you, I'm here for you. And that's healing, and that's sovereignty. And this creates true freedom, true internal freedom, without which healthy relating is not possible.
I see.
It isn't. And I think more and more people are starting to see that.
Yeah. I think this is so powerful, and I've done personally a lot of work, therapy. You can name any tool, plant medicine, mushrooms.
Yeah.
And I wish this was more prevalent or more common ground. Maybe it is. Maybe
I also wish, you know, when I was a teenager, if somebody maybe, talked to me about all this, I mean, In our education system, we're not getting educated about anything that's important.
No, absolutely not.
So, yeah.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're taught to teach from the outside in, and I think it actually this part of it of how we relate with ourselves, how we are. There's so many drugs of choice that we are going to embark on and use
Incredible
to
distraction.
feel better.
And so much of it is like modern distractions, like,
Yeah.
and they're packaged in liberation and empowerment. There isn't much empowerment in using distractions.
So I guess something that I would have loved to be taught when I was a teenager, even a child, is this discerning, this
Yes, exactly.
inner knowing, also this inner voice, but understanding that the world, as you expose, as you live, as you engage in relationships, is going to bring all of these menu of vices and drugs
Yeah.
that are just going to push you so much away from who you are, from the healthy relationships that you want, and create so much trauma
Yes.
in the meantime.
Yeah. If only we could have more emotional awareness in our education system, for example.
Yeah.
That alone can change a lot.
And you're a therapist.
Yeah.
That's why you
Somatic
integrate so much the spiritual work with psychology. That's why emotions are a big part of this work.
Huge part.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because emotions are like a relational navigation system. Emotions are relationship pointers and compass. And emotions are existential. It's about our core humanity. They're profoundly important. And the more that we get cracked open, emotionally speaking, the armoring around the heart kind of softens, the more connected we tend to feel internally and also outside. Otherwise, we always feel isolated, like isolated somebody trying to get through this dangerous life. Wow, that's the definition of suffering. When we get cracked open, we are part of life. We are life. You know, we are life showing up here. As Cenk, as Ale, as this cup. It's all one life showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But energetically, we need to get kind of unguarded to actually feel that.
Yeah, that is so beautiful. Another thing that I like and that you wrote is when we're filled with God, do we need anything or anyone else?
Yeah.
This is a bold statement. Can you unpack these for us?
So, you know, in Sacred Monogamy, this is a profoundly sacred, deep relationship where there's a spiritual attitude in the whole thing. So, the love with which I love life and God, the ultimate, the absolute, whatever we think about it, whatever I see as the sacred thing.
Yeah, as that
something
higher
bigger than
energy.
us. Exactly. Some universe or nature, or whatever it might be for anybody. And the devotion that I feel towards that, which is transcendent, spirit, is the same devotion that I end up feeling towards my partner. The same. Because both are about love.
So here a keyword is devotion.
Devotion. Because the heart wants to give. So the heart wants to become the servant of life in a sense where, hey, like, guide me. I'm here. Just tell me what to do. Or I trust you, right? Learning to trust. Life itself. And from that devotion of, I'm letting go of my sense of control and personal will and, connecting with this larger energy that in our hearts of hearts we are in love with. And the same love can be brought into our relationship. That's where the God comes, you know. So my partner then becomes the activator of my heart. My partner is a reminder of beauty, of innocence, and then softens my heart continuously. So in some ways, the love that I have for her and me being with her continuously, because it's a committed long-term relationship, that intimacy becomes a constant reminder of what matters most. That allows us to live in a way that is completely cracked open. And then our intimacy with everything deepens. In other words, my love for my partner saves me from my own sense of self-control and everything.
And my
The small self, the fear-based small self that's trying to manipulate everything and control. And for her, that's the same. So in a way, we can say that we become portals of consciousness for each other.
I love this.
Yes, we become reminders of things that are worth loving.
If we activate our relationship and
Yeah.
this container in this way, in this sacred way.
Exactly, because in sacred monogamy, my partner is being transparent continuously. That's the path. I'm being transparent. But in her transparency, I see her. I see the innocence. I see the child in her. I see humanness in the form of my partner in front of me.
And there's so much compassion and
There
love
is
that
so much
comes with
compassion. And then that compassion that I feel towards her, I can also give to myself. And that I feel, and she feels compassion towards me. And suddenly we get in touch with what being human is all about. By being so profoundly intimate with one human, I become intimate with humanity. This is something really big.
I think that's why we're here for.
I think we're here for love, living as love. And this is possible, for sure.
I wish this for all of us, for
Yeah, me too.
humanity. I wish that this is a path that we can embark on, even if we are seeing the world burning outside. Hearing you speak about this makes me, wish that for.
Yeah, I call it sanity also. In a confused world, can we live sane lives? And what can be more sane than mature, healthy love that can say no, that can say yes, that can get angry when needed? You know, the mature, healthy love that is full-blooded, it's alive, it's active, it's dynamic. It's not this boring, saintly thing. It's,
That.
there's nothing boring about it. Yeah. Because we bring our complete self into it.
If you were to write a book about something.
I am writing a book.
You're writing a book?
Yeah.
What is the title of your book?
Oh, well, the title is like the summary of what's been happening to me. And the title is, it's like at the end of a sentence. So the title is, and then I cried until my name was love. Because this is really the story of the dearmoring of the heart.
Which is another big topic that you talk about. So before we get there, I want to talk about one important question that I have, which is, you mentioned that there are some patterns that make intimacy impossible or that block intimacy.
Yeah.
Like defensiveness, chronic numbness, aggression, sarcasm. So how do these attitudes show up when someone thinks they're doing inner work, but the relationship isn't actually working?
Yeah, these are the different ways that our fear-based and shame-based conditioning, reactivity shows up as numbness, as sudden shutting down, or maybe getting aggressive like this in a way that shocks people or whatever. So these are all big, big reactions inside. Some of it is trauma response. And if these responses, patterns, conditioning is running the show more often than not, then intimacy becomes impossible. We can still say I'm in a relationship, but there's no real relating is happening. Because true relating means that I am unguarded, vulnerable, my heart, I feel it, the other person can feel my heart, and I feel their heart. So it's a meeting of hearts. This meeting cannot happen for as long as I'm shutting down or using sarcasm and passive aggressiveness. These are all either me becoming non-relational by shutting down or me attacking. Attack or collapse. These are the moments where the child in me is active and fully in charge of the situation. And the child in us is going to destroy everything. That's what the child does. Because children are not capable, because that's not a developmental stage where maturity exists.
Of being accountable or being aware, being responsible.
Self-regulating, exactly. They're not capable and they don't have to be. The child in us gets to stay as the child in us. It's just that the adult that we are needs to be more awake, more present, more online. And this happens through practice. A lot of practice. Yeah.
What kind of practice?
The practice is being able to wake up in the moment of reactivity. And then maybe I say to my partner, instead of like losing myself in it, maybe I'll say to my partner, I'm getting really angry right now about what you said to me during breakfast this morning. Okay, then I can take a deep breath instead of like breaking an object or shutting the door or leaving or cursing.
I can create a pause between the trigger and my reaction.
I can name the emotion, take a deep breath, and maybe I look at my partner, we breathe together, and maybe I feel like leaving, and I might even say that, the child in me wants to get the hell out of here right now, but I love you, and I'm not going to leave right now. I'm choosing to stay. And yet, in this moment, I'm really not feeling good. Okay.
How powerful.
Yeah, and so we make space for our very basic human suffering. And this is the sacredness that comes. There is a space for everything.
Yeah.
And we don't have to kind of run away in shame or fear.
There's no risk.
No risk. It's a safe place. It's safe to be human. What a thing, right?
Safe to be
human.
human. Oh, I love
Just like that. Nothing special
That could
about
be
it.
another book.
Nothing special.
Safe
There's
to be
nothing perfect about it. It's safe to be human. That's all. Yeah, and there's a lot of innocence in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also talk about some topics in this connection to safety. Another part of what you explore is this healthy inner governance, a healthy
Yeah, sovereignty.
sovereignty,
Yeah.
and healthy dependence. So in a world where these two sound a bit paradoxical, how do they
Yeah.
work together while also being deeply relational? And we are talking also about this world where there's a pendulum. You were talking about codependence or hyperdependence.
Yes.
And
From
we
self-betrayal. From self-abandonment, chronic self-abandonment, and saying yes when I want to say no to please the other person. All of that fear-based thing. From that, we often move into the exaggerated independence. Again, I don't need anybody.
I'm gonna be alone.
I want to be alone. I can do this myself.
Yeah.
We kind of forget that, like, doing things with people is actually a lot more fun. Yeah, because like we don't have to live alone.
And we share it, and
We
sharing
share.
is
We're in
so
this together,
precious.
right? We're in this together, and it's not easy. It's not something easy to get to right away because the pendulum thing, it happens a lot. Yeah, it's happened to me as well, and then we see, okay, I feel so much more empowered now. I have my voice. I can say no, yes. Maybe I say no more often than yeah. Now that I can
Not abandoning
now
myself.
that I can say no, I'm saying no all the time, maybe.
Yeah.
So we go to the other extreme, but then we find that, oh, I think I'm ready for a deeper intimacy with friends, family members, partner, and I don't want to do this thing alone anymore. Okay, let's open. Let's be more relational. Yeah, and now we are not so afraid of it anymore because we are sovereign. Then we can switch into healthy sovereignty, which is not like the wall of China around me, no one can come. It's like healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
And I'm aware. I can open, close, make them a little more permeable. It's all happening through awareness, agency, choice. That's sovereignty. That's maturation. That's mature living. Living based in wholeness.
And how does this connect with one final topic that I want us to touch on, which is
Yeah.
the dearmoring of the heart?
Yes. That's a big one.
What is opening our heart and living from a de-armored stage? Is that related to, I go through the pendulum phase, or
Yeah.
I even transcend the pendulum, and I want to create a more
After the pendulum
profound-
comes the opening of the heart. That's what has been happening to me. So I did a lot of profound healing work on myself with spiritual openings combined, and I start to feel profoundly empowered. Like my personal will, very, very deeply mature, whatever, grounded, and I can say no, I can express myself, I can be vulnerable, this and that. And then came this profound internal safety. So it's like the child in us finally relaxes so deeply, lets go of trying to control so deeply, because the adult is at home and online and awake. With that, what surfaces after is the deepest pain that the child carries. Because now there is enough space. Now there is enough empowerment. There is enough foundation for the deepest pain to come.
Yes.
And sometimes the deepest pain doesn't even have words. It's pre-verbal. So when the deepest pain comes, it's very existential. Including in that can be fear of pain, fear of death, a lot of things that are unique to each person in some way. In another way, it's completely universal. We are human beings, we share this together. So when these things come to the surface, and when they begin to get digested, the deeper places in our heart become available. And just like that was available when we were children. Because when we are born, we are unwounded.
Yeah.
So through working with the wounding, digesting it so deeply, we open to this place that has never been wounded. It just got eclipsed by wounding and confusion about things.
So that you clear the clouds in a way.
We clear up the clouds and the existential confusion and all that. And then the profound tenderness that we are born with the profound sensitivity is reowned, reclaimed, and can now be embodied as an adult.
I see.
Who can take charge, who can take care of things. We are not this helpless little child anymore. This is the adult innocence, and this is the beginning of another life.
Yeah,
it's a paradigm shift. It's huge.
It's a very profound.
It's very, very profound. Yeah, and it's been really active in my life the first 2 years, and it's taking over everything. And I am so profoundly happy about that. Like, finally, because it gives me my own heart back. And that means I'm coming full circle. I'm coming back into my own heart. And everything I've been looking for somehow has always been there. In the tenderness of the heart.
You have found yourself.
Yeah.
Cenk, thank you so much for this profound conversation. We'll for sure have to do another podcast session.
Yes.
This is so beautiful, and all the topics that you have touched on. I want to ask you, what is one last message that you would like to give people who are looking to build this container? If you were to say one word, one practice, something that you would like to share, what would that be?
I think we are worthy of our deepest healing and awakening and growth. And it's time to prioritize love. And these days, a lot in the world, what's happening is sexual liberation. Okay, let's liberate sexuality. Okay, that's perfect. Let's do that. There's nothing wrong with pleasure. Pleasure is beautiful, delicious, wonderful. But how about liberating the heart? Without that, nothing can satisfy. That's been the last 20 years of my life, the journey.
Yeah.
Without coming back full circle into what's always been here, nothing can satisfy. So why not make love one of our priorities, if not the top priority? Love and sanity. Sanity in terms of honesty with ourselves, with others, and create beautiful relationships from that place. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that message. Thank you so much. The last question I want to ask you is, what is coming up for you this year? Where can we find you? How can we engage with you? I know you are doing many things, working with different clients. So let us know how we can find you. And
I have a 30-day container that's called The Mud of Your Becoming.
Okay.
So within 30 days, we do 8 sessions, which is like a really intense container. And this is where the big shifts happen. So I invite people to check that out on the website.
Which is cenkmatalon.com.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Cenk
Matalon with a C, C-E-N-K. My last name is M-A-T-A-L-O-N. You can look at the Instagram page as well, see different announcements there. And also on the website, there's a lot about sacred monogamy. I also have a 30-day container for couples who are really going for it. Yeah.
Beautiful.
I call it the rise of sacred monogamy.
Beautiful.
And I work with them individually first in 30 days containers.
Okay.
The individual work is so huge. And then we jump into the sacred monogamy container.
The rest of the work.
Yeah. As a couple.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for this time and this space. From the bottom of my heart, I live with these messages and this quality time that you have provided. I do not take it for granted. So please know that I value it. And I hope these tools that you have shared with us today make a profound impact on the people that are listening. They have made a profound impact on me. I will have to re-listen and learn and take notes. So if this conversation stirred something in you, if you felt seen, challenged, if you felt like questioning maybe your ideas around love, around relationships, well, you're not alone. So what Cenk points to again and again is this. Awakening isn't about leaving the body, the relationship, or the mess behind. It's about staying, about feeling, about repairing, and what he shared about letting our hearts soften without collapsing. My hope is that you leave this episode today with not more concepts to master, but with a deeper permission to be human, safe to be human and guarded, embodied and awakening love. Thank you for listening, and thank you for showing up for yourself and for creating what matters. Thank you, Cenk.
Thank you, Ale, for making this happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.